So you've created a website or a page, at least files that have HTML and maybe some CSS and maybe in our case images or something else, but we're going to now submit those. Well, the way that you're going to submit projects with code. Now it's not true that we're going to submit everything. If you have something that's only an image, there's no reason to use GitHub for it. GitHub is a place to hold code and is a way to see other people's code as well. Now we're keeping ours private, so nobody else will be able to see yours besides you and me, and anybody, of course, that you want to share, but nobody will be able to see it except us. But there is a lot of open source content out there in GitHub, so feel free to look around someday. But right now, let's go ahead and submit ours. We're going to push our code to GitHub. In this video, I'm using the old version. This is the version that was available prior to August or September of last year. It is what is on the machines at school. If you go into D208 and are working in there on this, on any of these projects, and you're working on GitHub for desktop, you're going to see that it looks like this, a little bit different than what you might see if you just recently uploaded it. But it does exactly the same thing, it just looks slightly different. So the first thing that I want to do, or I notice, I already have some repositories there, but I don't actually want to put this in any of those repositories. So I'm going to clone another one. And I'm going to go up to clone. I'm going to pick this jrding. Let's use this temp folder. You probably will only have one with your name and one with CIS 152 in it. But right now I have multiples, of course. But this is the folder that I want to clone. And you may have already done this earlier in this unit, but this is just a refresher. If you don't already have it listed, then you'll want to clone it again and clone. And I decide where to put it. Now, I tend to put mine on my desktop or in my documents, but you can choose where you want to put it. On my desktop, okay. And now it's cloned, or it is cloning. And in my folder, it looks like there's already some stuff from other assignments. I'm not going to worry about that. Those were actually from, I don't know, a couple of years ago, but that's okay. It just brought to me whatever was in that folder. And it should have created, because I chose to put it on my desktop, it should have created, whoops, on my desktop somewhere, a folder called CIS 152 temp. Now I'll put that up at the top so I can see it. But now I just want to take that folder that I've been working on, or you could have been working all along in this cloned folder. Either way, however it makes sense to organize for you. I typically will work inside a different folder as I'm working along, and then only when I'm finished, I'll upload it. I'll put it in this cloned folder, this GitHub folder, but you might need to do something else. If you have a tendency to forget to put it into this folder or to lose it, then just use your repository for the class folder to put it in. So, but I'm going to go in my file explorer and find this file that I've been working on, which I know happens to be there and there. And now I can copy and paste it, or I can move it over there. Now, I would like to have a copy in two places. The problem with that, or the challenge with that, is being sure you don't update one and not the other. So when you're working in it, make sure that you have one basically that is your working place, and you always update the other one, or just work in one all along. That's entirely up to you, though, I guess. So I'm going to make a separate copy of it. So I'm going to copy this folder and put it in that folder. So now I have the Unit 3 sample, and I can click in it and I can see all my files. It is not a link. This is not a shortcut to something else. This is a copy of the entire folder. And I can here rename it if I needed to call it something different to follow the guidelines of your instructor, or if I need to do something else with it, I certainly can. I can also, oh yes, also notice you do not need to zip these. These are not zipped when they go into GitHub. Do not zip your folder to go into GitHub. Okay, so that's changed. Now, I can just close these things out. I don't need to look at them anymore. But now I notice up in this GitHub for Desktop that it shows there are changes. If I click on changes at the top, I will see these 4 changes that were made. It means, this is saying that these are all added. I'm not getting rid of anything. And it even shows me if I click on them, it shows me what was changed. And in fact, none of these existed before, so I needed to add them. So I'm just adding the entire files. I create a summary, something like adding unit 3 sample. And if I want a description, that's fine, but I don't have to. And I commit to master. And if you're using this version, you use sync. If you're using the new version, you just use push, but they do the same thing. Syncing and pushing are the same thing. And I sync, and that's finished. Well, no, it's still working. I'm sorry. Let's get rid of that. It's syncing. Now it's done. And I should be able to log in now. I have a lot of sites open. Let's see. I can log into github.com. What is going on here? Sorry. Let's just do that. Sign in. And if I go back to JRDang, and let's actually just go to my profile, my profile, and in my folder, and I can see that the unit 3 sample is there. I can click on it. I can see all the files and folders are there. I can even click on an individual file and it will open it and let me see it. Or into the CSS, of course, and look at the CSS. So you can look at these, you can refer back to them. You cannot edit in GitHub, but you can look at them and you can make sure that they exist, and you can look at other people's code as well in CSS. I'm sorry, in GitHub. So keep that in mind and use it as it benefits you. And once you've cloned a repository on your own computer, you probably won't have to continue doing it. But if you're using the machines at school, they probably will log you out and you'll have to log back in each time, both to GitHub and into the GitHub desktop app. And I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions and I will be happy to answer. Thank you.